You won't believe the story behind this. They need to ditch this disastrous plan immediately, but end up in jail anyway. Despite the punishment of fleeing, Sophia's health is gradually improving. She hoped Peter would propose or show affection, but he was cold. Sophia decided to win him with military dolls. Peter was moved to tears like a baby, but eventually he soberly told Sophia, "I don't love you at all." Just then, the Queen swooped in, announcing their engagement ceremony at the church next week. To make Sophia a true Russian, the Queen decided to give her her mother's surname. Talk about a plot twist. Named Yekaterina Alexeyevna, Sophia officially became royal. Now, that's flair. According to Peter the Great's royal succession laws, Sophia now had the right to inherit the Russian throne surprise after surprise. The lady slowly spread her legs, letting the man use a mirror to inspect. Unsurprisingly, she was still a complete package. To become the Russian Empress, she had to undergo the final check. Ridiculous, like a medical convention. Only in this way could their wedding be scheduled, and the Prussian ambassador noticed the awkward situation, coming over to offer his care. He cleverly reminded her not to forget her home, and yet such advice was entirely unnecessary. However, Ekaterina did not back down. She boldly and unequivocally fired back at the ambassador. It was this loyalty that helped her survive the court turmoil time and again. What a clever girl. The palace was filled with plots, and anyone could be a spy. The Queen was quite the schemer, with spy systems and even put eavesdroppers behind the palace walls. Whispers between lovers and political banter were all documented, and surprisingly, Ekaterina's mother, Duchess Joanna, became a tool for the Duchess Joanna was bought out by the Prussian envoy for 4,000 thalers. What a disgrace. To provide intelligence to King Frederick, Ekaterina could only watch as her short-sighted mother was warned not to mess up, while the Queen had already noticed this foolish noblewoman. The Queen sent dashing Ivan to win over the Duchess. Unexpectedly, he was touched by Joanna's gentleness, truly absurd. Ivan, an architect, had grand plans that he kept for Joanna, causing her to dawdle on the Queen's task, until the Queen issued an ultimatum. After a night of intense battles, Ivan got up early and hid the letter Joanna wrote to the king. After reading the letter, he couldn't calm down for ages and decided to burn it. Knowing the Queen's mind, he had to dismiss this foolish idea. The letter mentioned two shocking things: one, that Dr. Lestock was imprisoned for treason, and two, that Ivan VI was secretly imprisoned. Utterly mind-blowing. How did Joanna find out? Seeing Ivan hesitate to speak, the Queen saw through him and ordered the love-stricken spy to be kicked out of Russia. Suddenly, the mother knelt down, and the daughter pleaded with the Queen, hoping to leave Russia permanently and asking for forgiveness. The Queen remained unmoved. Their tragic fate was only confinement in prison and severe punishment. To protect her daughter, Joanna took the blame, and glancing at Ekaterina's innocent eyes, the Queen couldn't feel anger toward her. She ordered Joanna to prison and stormed off, yet at that moment, Ekaterina maintained her composure. What awaited them was an uncertain separation. Days later, the Queen moved her to a new chamber. She even sent a whole box of new gowns. The Queen was relentless, and this Duchess affair became a laughingstock across Europe. The Queen asked Ekaterina about her gowns. Ekaterina guessed 1,000, but the Queen shook her head. 32,000. Outrageous. Ekaterina bowed her head in silence for a moment, and then blurted out a jaw-dropping number. 87 years. What does that even mean for you? If your emperor had a new outfit every day, you'd be immortal forever. Seriously, 87 years, 7 months, 4 days. Indeed, this hit the Queen right in the feels. Who wouldn't want to be immortal? The Queen was pleased, and clever Ekaterina didn't mention her mother until the Queen was about to leave, subtly catching her attention. The Queen instantly saw through Ekaterina's intentions, telling her mother hadn't been punished and she'd be sent home once everything was sorted out. Ekaterina finally felt relieved, and not long after, Joanna returned to the palace, and the mother and daughter embraced tightly. To protect her daughter, they pretended to have an argument so touching yet hilarious. As her mother was about to leave, Ekaterina couldn't hold back her emotions any longer and hugged her tightly, expressing their love for each other. However, this separation turned out to be forever. The spying official, hiding behind the wall, sneezed, making Ekaterina furious. The wedding of Peter and Ekaterina went on as planned, but on their wedding night, Peter surprisingly stormed in with a bunch of soldiers. What a laugh and a facepalm. He excused his behavior by justifying it as someone must witness the Emperor's wedding night. This is indeed a traditional practice within European royal families. Ekaterina stood up in disbelief, finding no one paying attention, turning her pleading eyes to Count Sol. Count Sol, Ekaterina's first friend in Russia, thought he was going to marry his prince, just as he was ready to draw his sword to chase away these invaders. Another duke boldly pushed Sol's sword back, and one by one, the soldiers scrambled away, head down. Watching the princess about to consummate her marriage, Sol dejectedly exited the room. His heart took a plunge. But no matter how sweetly Ekaterina tried to woo him, Peter remained as cold as ice, fully aware that having a child meant dire consequences. So he resorted to feigning ignorance to conceal his inner turmoil, leaving everyone helplessly amused and frustrated. Seeing Peter's coldness, Ekaterina slowly reached for the dagger on the nightstand. What was she planning? She gently dragged the knife across her palm, blood oozing out. What was she trying to express?